The Seattle Seahawks are holding the trophy, but the league should be more worried about what they changed after winning it. Most champions spend the offseason trying to protect what they already have. Seattle moved different. They lost Kenneth Walker III, kept the heart of the roster together, handed Sam Darnold a chance to grow inside a familiar system, and still walked into the new season with the same cold feeling around them. This does not feel like a team trying to survive the crown. It feels like a team that found another way to make the chase even harder. That is the part nobody should ignore. Jackson Smith-Njigba is still the danger sign every defense sees first. Devin Witherspoon is still the tone setter on the other side. Mike McDonald still has a defense that can turn one mistake into a long night. And now, Seattle is not just bringing back stars, they are adding fresh legs, fresh roles, and a new voice on offense that could make the whole machine cleaner. The names are different in some spots, but the pressure is the same. Maybe even worse. The question is not whether Seattle is talented. That answer is already sitting in the trophy case. The real question is how a team can lose the back who carried the biggest game of the season and still feel dangerous before the first snap of the next one. That is where this story starts to bend. Because Kenneth Walker III walking out of Seattle looked like a problem at first, until the Seahawks answered with a rookie running back who may change the shape of this offense faster than people expect. The Walker exit did not just remove a running back. It pulled away the cleanest answer Seattle had when games got tight. Kenneth Walker III was the back who could turn a safe call into damage, and when he left for Kansas City, the easy reaction was panic. But Seattle did not chase a copy. They used the moment to change the backfield before defenses could settle into last year's book. That is not luck. That is a front office making a sharp bet. That is where Jadarian Price walks in. A rookie from Notre Dame, picked 32nd overall, with fresh legs and a running style built for steady pressure. He was not worn down by a college workload, because Jeremiah Love shared that room with him. That matters. Seattle is not asking an old engine to restart. They are handing a hungry back a clear lane, behind an offense that already wants to lean on the run and make opponents feel every quarter. The hidden piece is Zach Charbonnet. If his knee recovery slows the early plan, Price does not just get touches, he gets a chance to take the mood of the offense. One good September can change a depth chart. One hard fourth quarter can change a locker room. Seattle lost the Super Bowl hero, but it may have found the next pressure point. And now the bigger question turns to the man who must keep all of this from becoming too heavy alone: Sam Darnold. The strangest part of Seattle's title defense is that everything still comes back to Sam Darnold. Not the trophy, not the noise, not even the hole left by Kenneth Walker III. It comes back to whether the quarterback can turn last year's survival into control. He does not need to chase highlights every Sunday. He needs to own the boring plays, protect the ball, and keep Seattle out of the kind of trouble that gives hungry teams oxygen. This is where the new offense becomes dangerous. Brian Fleury is not walking in to tear the house down. He comes from the same wide zone family that helps Seattle stay balanced, and that matters for a quarterback who has lived through too many resets. Sam Darnold has seen new playbooks, new voices, new pressure, and new doubts. This time, the change feels more like a tune-up than a full rebuild. That gives him something rare: a chance to sharpen instead of start over. But comfort can fool you if the details slip. Defenses will crowd Jackson Smith-Njigba. They will test the timing with Jadarian Price. They will force Seattle to prove the passing game has more than one safe answer. That is why Sam Darnold is the quiet swing piece. If he stays calm, this offense breathes. If he presses, everything tightens. And the next clue sits with the receiver defenses already fear most. Because now, one receiver holds the key to every defensive adjustment waiting next. Nobody in Seattle scares defenses faster than Jackson Smith-Njigba, but that is also the problem hiding inside the shine. When one receiver becomes the first answer, the emergency answer, and the late-game answer, opponents stop guessing. They start leaning coverage his way before the ball is even snapped. That does not mean he is limited. It means he has become so dangerous that the rest of the room must punish teams for treating him like the whole passing game. This is where Seattle's receiver group has to grow teeth. Rashid Shaheed brings the kind of speed that changes safety depth. Cooper Kupp brings timing, patience, and a feel for soft spots that young receivers spend years chasing. Jake Bobo gives the quarterback a trusted body in traffic. Torrey Horton has the size and scoring touch to turn a quiet snap into a sudden problem. Then there is Emmanuel Henderson Jr., a rookie with raw burst, special teams value, and just enough mystery to make defenses nervous. The goal is simple, but it will decide games. Make defenses pay for staring at Jackson Smith-Njigba. Make the second read feel dangerous. Make the third option hurt. If Seattle does that, Sam Darnold does not have to force tight windows, and the run game sees lighter boxes. The offense stops feeling heavy on one superstar and starts feeling harder to solve. But that balance only matters because the other side of the roster can still drag opponents into deep water very quickly. The offense can grow, stumble, adjust, and still be fine because Seattle has the one thing every contender wants when plans get messy: a defense that can take over a game without asking permission. That is why the Seahawks still feel different. When the ball changes hands, opponents do not get relief. They get Devin Witherspoon pressing the line, Leonard Williams pushing the pocket, and Byron Murphy II turning the middle into a crowded hallway. Mike Macdonald does not need to send chaos every snap to make quarterbacks uncomfortable. His defense wins because the picture changes late. A safety can drop, a corner can rush, a linebacker can appear where the throw was supposed to go. DeMarcus Lawrence brings the edge weight. Uchenna Nwosu adds another closing threat. Ernest Jones IV keeps the front tied together. Then Nick Emenwari gives the whole thing a strange shape, because he can move around the formation and make the offense guess wrong before the play even starts. That is why the losses around the defense matter, but they do not break the identity. Boye Mafe, Reek Woolen, and Kobe Bryant leaving means new snaps must be earned, and early mistakes can happen. Still, Seattle kept the people who set the tone. They kept the coach who hides pressure. They kept the stars who make safe plays feel dangerous. But the sharpest piece in this whole defense is also the one Seattle must pay, and that now turns Devin Witherspoon into the next story. The next Seattle pressure point is not a play call. It is a contract. Devon Witherspoon has become too important to treat like normal business, because his value is not locked to one position. He can cover the slot, attack the backfield, hit like a safety, and change the attitude of an entire series. When a defender touches that many parts of a game, the price does not stay quiet for long. That is why this negotiation matters before the season gets loud. Seattle knows Witherspoon is the face of Mike Macdonald's defense, but the corner market keeps climbing. Every new deal gives his side another reason to wait. Trent McDuffie raised the bar. Christian Gonzalez may push it again. If Seattle waits too long, the number can move from expensive to painful, and nobody in that building wants a money fight hanging over a title defense. Still, this is not a breakup story. It feels more like two sides trying to solve a rich problem without losing control. Seattle wants its best young defender tied to the future. Witherspoon has earned a deal that matches his place in the sport. Get it done, and the dark side keeps its sharpest edge for years. Delay it, and every big snap carries a second question behind it. That pressure leads straight into Seattle's young depth, because the next wave must be ready. And that is where the draft class starts feeling much bigger than names. The reason Seattle still feels ahead is not just the stars everyone already knows, it is the young group waiting under them. Jadarian Price is the name with the spotlight, but the full class gives Seattle something dangerous. Cheap answers, fast answers. Players who do not need to carry the whole season, but can steal snaps, fix holes, and keep the roster from feeling old while the title pressure rises. Start with Price, because a first-round rookie running back changes the room the moment he arrives. Then look behind him. Bud Clark gives Mike Macdonald another safety with range and ball sense. Julian Neal brings length outside. Andre Fuller and Michael Dansby add corner depth after the secondary lost real snaps. Bo Stevens gives the line another body to develop. Devin Eastern adds size inside. Emmanuel Henderson Jr. brings speed that can show up on offense and special teams. That is how strong teams stay strong. They do not ask every rookie to become a star by October. They ask the right one to win one role, then another, then a key moment nobody saw coming. Seattle already has the top layer. This class is about the second wave, the part that keeps December from wearing them down. And if that wave hits early, the NFC West race stops being simple, because Los Angeles is quietly loading up with star power of its own right now too. Los Angeles made the loudest move in the division, and Seattle heard every bit of it. Myles Garrett changes protection calls before the ball is snapped. Trent McDuffie changes where quarterbacks are willing to look. Add Jalen Watson beside him, and the Rams are not chasing attention by accident. They built a defense that can walk into January and bother anyone. That is what makes this rivalry feel so heavy. Matthew Stafford still sees the field with old calm. Puka Nacua turns simple routes into body blows. Sean McVay keeps finding answers when defenses think they finally caught up. Losing Jared Verse in the Garrett deal was not small, but Los Angeles clearly chose proven star power over patience. Respect it. That roster has teeth. Anyone pretending the Rams are just noise is missing the real danger. But Seattle is not fighting a headline. Seattle is defending proof. The Seahawks already know their formula can survive pressure, ugly stretches, and one-possession games. They have Sam Darnold steadying the huddle, Jackson Smith-Njigba stressing coverage, Devon Witherspoon setting the edge of the defense, and Mike McDonald building weekly traps that do not need hype to work. The Rams may own the summer conversation. Seattle owns the standard everyone is trying to reach. And that is why this title defense feels different. Because the champ did not look satisfied. It looked unfinished. That is the problem the league still has to solve next.